A royal tour, a chance to visit countries within the realm and strengthen diplomatic ties.
G'day mate, how are you?
Nice to see you.
Lovely to meet you.
Their Majesties the King and Queen's royal visit to Australia and state visit to Samoa has been months in the planning. But behind the pomp and ceremony, what really goes on tour? What memories will stay on it? And can His Majesty charm even the harshest of critics?
Seconds. Take the bully.
Let's talk to our senior royal correspondent, Daniela Ralph, who is in Sydney. So how important is the visit to Australia for the King?
Well, Sophie, it's really important because it just seemed unthinkable that this could happen a few months ago when Buckingham Palace announced that the King had cancer and would be stepping back from public-facing duties for a while.
King Charles and Queen Camilla touched down in Sydney yesterday to start the six-day tour, but they're on a rest day today.
Yeah, that's right. And as you have just said, Emma, it's unusual to start a royal tour with a rest day, with a day off.
And quite striking images to bring to our listeners' attention of their images being projected.
Yeah, that's right. That was sort of part of the official welcome last night with those images of past royal visits dating back to 1966.
At London Airport, the heir to the throne prepared to say goodbye to Britain for a few months. He will soon be learning much more about Australian life.
In 1966, Prince Charles, as he was then, attended school in Australia. In an official capacity, he'd visited the continent a total of 15 times. But the late Queen Elizabeth was the first ruling monarch to visit Australia. She spent 2 months here in 1954. And over the years, she completed 16 royal tours here, the last one in 2011. Well, tomorrow morning we finally get going. It's the first official engagement tomorrow for the King and Queen. They're going to church, we're going with them. And it's been an unusual start because we've had this rest day built in to give the King and Queen a bit of time to recover. Also, while we're in Australia, there's no evening engagements planned. Again, that's a bit of a nod to the fact that the King hasn't been well and he has to take it easy in terms of the schedule over the next few days. So it's our first time over Sydney Harbour Bridge. We've been under it for most of it. So it's Sunday morning here in Sydney. We're on the Sydney Harbour Bridge heading to church.
Security is very tight here, and there's a small group of protesters.
You weren't welcome here in the first place, and you're not welcome here now. Go home.
After yesterday's rest day, the tour of Australia is now officially underway, and after church here is the first chance the King and Queen will have to meet the public.
Okay, straight over, come here, Pop.
They seem to have taken their time going right down there and all the way back. And this is my carer. Come here.
I'm still shaky about it. It was incredible. Even my son, we are so ecstatic, so excited about it.
Really exciting, and I managed to say, "You're doing a good job, Charles," and he looked me in the eye and said, "Thank you."
There was a very generous, warm welcome, and Their Majesties were extremely generous in greeting lots of people soon after their jet lag plane trip, but no, we've had a great morning. It's been a delight.
After church, the King visited the New South Wales Parliament for a bicentenary celebration and made his first speech on Australian soil as King.
What a great joy it is to come to Australia for the first time as sovereign and to renew a love of this country and its people, which I have cherished for so long.
We're on our way to Canberra. So it's about a 3-hour drive for us from Sydney to Canberra. We'll arrive there in the middle of Sunday evening, ready for a more political kind of day in Australia's capital.
Many people have already lined up, ready to get a chance to greet the royals as they come here to the War Memorial today.
Thank you very much.
We're now travelling in a media bus from the Australian War Memorial up to Parliament House for the next engagement. And this bus has become part of the royal motorcade because the timings are so tight.
In my many visits to Australia, I have witnessed the courage and hope that have guided the nation's long and sometimes difficult journey towards reconciliation. Throughout my life, Australia's First Nations peoples have done me the great honour of sharing so generously their stories and cultures. I can only say how much my own experience has been shaped and strengthened by such traditional wisdom.
But as the King finished, came the interruption, with shouts of "You are not our King."
Stole from us! Our bones, our skulls, our babies, our people! This is not your land! You are not my kids! You are not our king!
I wanted to send a clear message to the King of England that he's not the king of this country. He's not my king. He's not sovereign. We are sovereign. To be sovereign, you have to be of the land. He's not of this land.
Buckingham Palace has not made any official comment on the protest at Parliament, but it is uncomfortable for them. Instead, they focused on what they call the warmth of the reception the King and Queen received from the thousands who turned out to see them here in Australia's capital.
Yeah, let's go to you, Miles, now. What are the royals scheduled to do today?
Well, Bridget, it's going to be a jam-packed schedule on the penultimate day of this royal tour before King Charles and Queen Camilla head off to Samoa.
He began his day at the National Centre of Indigenous Excellence. Later, he will be joined by Queen Camilla at a barbecue.
Welcome to this country. Thank you.
It's a particular delight to see and smell all the top tucker here today from Western Sydney's vibrant and diverse community.
the King and Queen's tour of Australia has ended, but amid spectacular scenes in Sydney.
Welcome, Charles. Welcome.
When you look back and we have a little bit of perspective on this trip, will it be seen as a success?
So I think overall, Buckingham Palace will be really pleased that they got the King and Queen here to Australia and got the response and the kind of support that they've had on the ground. Case is packed, ready to go to the airport here in Sydney to fly home. The King has also just left Sydney. The Samoa leg of this particular journey is being covered by the BBC team there.
Now we've landed in Samoa. We took a really early morning flight from Sydney. We're 3 hours ahead of the royal couple. This is the first time that a Pacific Island nation has hosted the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, known as CHOGM. So it's a really big deal for Samoa, and they've even had to put on a whole cruise ship to house all of the delegates who are arriving this week.
(6:15) is the time. It's the Commonwealth Summit in Samoa. Katie Watson is our correspondent who is there already.
Well, yeah, I'm on the runway here in Samoa, and you can probably hear they're practicing the welcome, the ceremonial welcome. There is a cleaner with a vacuum cleaner on the red carpet, so they're very much waiting for the King and Queen to arrive. Day 2 in Samoa, and it started with another very Pacific welcome. This was an ava ceremony, a ritual built around a drink made from a tree root, a sign of unity and connection, shared with the king and delivered to him in a coconut.
God bless this ava. La Manuia.
We're at the mangroves. We're right by the main road. Just come off the main road and land here. So it's pretty urban, actually. Of course, I guess logistically, like the king can't go anywhere remote. That would just be such a nightmare for his team.
It's my 4th tour with him, and he likes my work, obviously. I've travelled with him on 3 previous occasions since 2012. And yeah, I've painted some good pictures along the way, and he owns a few of them.
There's a woman have that tattoo. And it's a lifetime name, Your Majesty. No medicine. You have to lie down just give your body to the master tattooist.
Nice big smile. Thank you.
So this has been the only full day of state visit, if you like, because the King and Queen arrived last night here in Samoa, and it's been a day packed full of engagements. The King really focused on environment. The Queen had separate engagements as well, but he went to a mangrove restoration project. He also went to the national park. Clearly, the environment is a priority for him.
We'll start with news coming out of Samoa, where King Charles has urged a summit of Commonwealth leaders to, quote, commit to learning the lessons of the past, but did not directly address the issue of reparations for slavery.
None of us can change the past, but we can commit with all our hearts to learning its lessons and to finding creative ways to right inequalities that endure.
The thing about King Charles is he's a constitutional monarch, so he has to be politically neutral, he can't publicly express his own opinions, and he has to take direction from the UK government. So when it comes to speeches, that's done very much in coordination with the ministers.
My wife and I are so delighted to be able to host you for dinner this evening.
Lovely to see you again.
It remains a lifelong aspiration to have visited all the countries of the Commonwealth, although nowadays it seems to be a race against our happily increasing numbers, as well as doctors' orders.
The state visit is over and CHOGM has now started. The King gave his inaugural speech talking about how to reconcile the past and work towards a better future together. And he also talked about climate change. Now, these were key themes that came up throughout his tour, first in Australia and now here in Samoa. And it shows how these tours aren't just a quick photo opportunity and meeting the public. They're also very well thought out and very well choreographed.